Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Fetch Quest podcast, where we talk about video games and more. I am your host, Connor, and I am joined by my beautiful co-host, Brewer.
Hello, everybody.
So, Brewer, it's been a while since we've talked. How have you been?
It's been better. Been a rough few weeks for me.
Oh, what's that, man? What's that?
So first, I got my arm chopped off. I got
Oh,
beat up by a suspiciously buff
oh
Fury.
no!
My house burned down because I
Wow!
cooked a hot pocket for too long, and I
Goodness!
tried to pour extra hot chili on there.
Oh wow!
And worst of all, this may shock you, so I'm just gonna give you a warning. Give the audience a warning. I had to play Sonic 06.
Oh my god! Sorry, I had a very traumatic flashback.
I know, that's why I warned you. It's a lot to take in.
I thought you were gonna say something like your like family got killed, but like that's just so much worse. I wasn't prepared, but that's just awful. But don't worry, I know what's gonna cheer us up.
What is it? What can cheer me up from playing fucking Sonic 06?
I got me and you tickets to go to Dr. Eggman's incredible interstellar amusement park. It's gonna be awesome.
You sure you want to go there? I've heard rumors that he is like enslaved an entire race of aliens.
Brewer, please, Brewer, please. This costs me thousands of dollars. Please, we have to go for my wallet's sake. I am broke as fuck.
Oh my god, leave it to the damn Sonic fans to spend thousands on something they don't need. Alright, everybody, I think with that, our topic for today is going to be Sonic Colors.
Yeah, if it wasn't obvious today, we are going to be talking about Sonic Colors.
Not Sonic 06.
Thank God. We will never talk about Sonic 06 unless I am held at gunpoint. But this is a very, very special game to me, and I don't know how you feel about Sonic Colors, Brewer, but
I know, it's very special to me too. I did grow up with this one. It was probably, I think, my first Sonic game, from at least that I can remember.
this was also my first Sonic game that I can remember, and it's one of the very few I have played, despite the fact that I'm a very big Sonic fan. I have sadly played very few games in his lineup, but to give a quick little explanation of what Sonic Colors is, Sonic Colors is a Sonic game, obviously, that released in 2010, and essentially you play as Sonic and you are exploring Dr. Eggman's new amusement park, and you are basically just going from world to world trying to defeat him and his badniks and help free the alien race of Wisp that he has basically enslaved to help keep his amusement park running.
Yeah, Eggman really likes enslaving things. Seeing how in his first adventure he was just doing it to random forest critters. Like, I don't really see how that's gonna profit him. Like the Wisp at least make a little sense because they have like magic powers and shit. I don't really get the little forest critters, but
well,
you know what?
In lore,
It gives Sonic a reason.
in lore, the reason why he captures the Flickies and stuff like that, which are the little like animals and stuff like that, they power the robots, the badniks. So they use like organic energy basically, and that's what those like little animals do. That's why when you destroy a robot, an animal pops
Yeah,
out.
animal pops out. I always thought he just like mind controlled and gave him cool robot suits or something.
That would be so cool, but yeah, Eggman's not that smart yet. But the basic, I guess we should go into gameplay. Now that we've sort of explained what.
Yeah, it has a very simple story, so I don't think we need to dwell on that too long. But
Yeah,
like any other Sonic game, it's a 2D platformer. Though for this one, I'd say it is a 3D one. Though it swaps between 2D and 3D. It's a platformer, so you run, you jump, you defeat all the enemies in your way, maybe solve a couple puzzles along the way. But for Sonic, you always got to go fast, so you're speeding through it as well with Boost and all the other power-ups you have with the Wisp.
Yep. The Wisp are one of the are introduced in this game, and they are a very big part of the game. They're like probably the main selling point of the game, and you know, they were pretty popular, as you can tell, as almost every other Sonic game after this incorporated the Wisp, even when they had no reason of being included. But
Yeah, I mean, not always in gameplay, but sometimes in story or just like in the background, you'll see a wisp just flying around for some reason.
yeah, and like they were also just like for some I don't know why Forces did this. I don't know why in Forces you had the Wisp as like weapons, but
Don't talk about forces. We're
I
talking
don't
about
like
good
talking
games
about
today.
Forces. I don't like talking about Forces. I really don't.
Yeah, let's
But
stick to actually good games
yeah,
today.
actually good games. Um, but yeah, as we were explained, basic platformer. You're going fast. You're using wisps. It's a very very fun time. And a lot of that fun is definitely because of the world that you sort of explore. Like, I'm gonna be so
Ooh,
honest with you, Brewer. Though these are some of the most memorable like worlds I have seen
yeah,
in
no,
Sonic.
Sonic Colors, one of its biggest strengths is the setting because like Robotnik's amusement park is already just such a neat concept to like have the entire game take place in. He's not just taking up over just like a random part of the world. No, this is a whole amusement park that he built for just like because he's fucking Eggman. Why not? But then also like it's really varied as well. They got really creative with the ideas. They whatever they could justify as an amusement park, they did.
Well,
It's so varied. There's so much to it.
yeah, and the reason it's so varied is because another reason why Eggman has the wisp is that he there again, it's been a very long time, and I think we should preface that we are talking about the Wii version of this game. Probably should have brought that up earlier, but we are talking about the Wii version and not the dreadful uh re re-release of it.
Yeah, Sonic Colors Ultimate.
Yeah,
I think that one's a little better now with the patches, but at launch it was still
it was
iffy.
terrible. It was very terrible, but is that Eggman uses the wisp to like bring in other planets, and that's as in like as attractions, like that's why they're like that's why there's literally just a giant uh planet that's like a candy and stuff like that.
Oh, Sweet Mountain, dude!
Yeah,
I
Sweet
love Sweet Mountain
Mountain.
so much. That's probably one of my favorite worlds, especially with the drill power up you get from one of the wisps. You turn into a drill, you go quickly
Drill.
through the ground. Yeah, and then you just fuck everything up. It's great. I
Yeah.
love the whole aesthetic of it too, and the music as well in the background.
My favorite world is Starlight Carnival. That
That one's a really pretty world as well. It's like
that
some version of like Rainbow Road.
Yeah, when I think of Sonic Colors, that is the first thing that pops into my mind. Like the music, the aesthetic of like going from these airships that are just in the night sky colored by like bright neon lights and stuff like that. It's just
Yeah,
such a
I
great
don't think there's a bad zone. Like all the zones I like more for different reasons. Like Aquarium Park I really like aesthetically, like but there are a couple of water sections that just aren't too good, especially in the 2D section. But I
yeah.
do like it aesthetically. And like Planet Wisp is like a very pretty and it has some beautiful nice calm tracks to go along with what you're playing, even if the levels are a bit simple. But then
Yeah.
you have like Sweet Mountain and then Asteroid Coaster, which is just a wild concept for
Asteroid
it.
Coaster is also really good. I really like Asteroid Coaster.
Yeah, no, flying through asteroids on a roller coaster.
Yeah, kid me really hated it because I would die in so many of the levels there, but like now present me is like, man, this is such a cool
You know
like
what? I think I had the exact same issue because like I would fall off at so many points. Like when I went to replay the game, when I like a year or two ago, like I didn't have that issue because like I've gotten better at video
because you
games.
actually had a functioning brain.
Yeah, and I wasn't super young, but like back then, like I did not like that level too much.
Yeah, but I 100% agree with you. I just don't think there's a bad world
Yeah,
in these games. Like they're all just so pretty. They're all unique. Like no real world ever feels the same. Like
Yeah,
It's
and again, the
just so
soundtrack's a banger for all of them.
oh,
They fit
100%.
the aesthetic of the level very well.
They, I call it. This is something that happens in a lot of franchises. I call it the Pokemon effect, or the like Pokemon music effect, where no matter how bad or middling or just not good the games are, they will never miss with the soundtracks. Pokemon, no matter what you think of like the modern games or like whatever, they always have good music. And Sonic is exactly like that. Like Sonic has such good music no matter what, like no matter the quality of the game. Like I cannot think of a single Sonic, like at least mainline Sonic game that has bad music.
Oh yeah, yeah, and Colors is no exception. It's probably one of the higher ones too, if we're gonna rank them
Yeah, like
for Sonic soundtracks.
the like the standard sort of like uh vocal like intro theme or like a main theme.
Reach for the Stars, dude.
Reach
Reach
for
for
the
the Stars
Stars.
is such a good theme. They got me
Mwah.
pumped to play the game.
It's so good, and then
Yep.
the like instrumental version for the final boss is iconic. Like you hear that so often in like YouTube videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, especially for like a lot of challenge videos or something. It's like I finally got to the end, and then they start playing that as like inspirational music.
Yeah, and it's like, oh shit, it's about to go down.
Yeah, like I mentioned, playing at Wisp too is like it's such a beautiful track as well. It's like this lush green area. It's not the same as obviously just like Sonic's Verse Zone, but like it is such a pretty area as well.
Yeah.
It's so relaxing, and then the aquarium has really nice themes as well.
Yeah, every theme just fits like so well. Like even like the more action-packed levels, like for Aquarium Park, even if it's a more action-packed level, Aquarium Park still has like very relaxing, chill music 'cause that's the aesthetic of it.
Yeah, and then Asteroid Coaster is like kind of a rock one, I'd say, maybe some rock music because like it's very intense. You're riding through on roller coasters. You have asteroids coming at you, and then even when you are on solid ground, you're taking control of the Frenzy Wisp to like just go claw at everything in front of you.
Yeah, and speaking of the Friends of Us, how about we go more into detail about our
Ooh, yeah, the
Wisp?
Wisp. Wisp are a key part of the level design. We should
Yeah,
definitely
they are
talk about that
the
now.
main gameplay that like they are what makes this game different than all the others. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, you have 8. If I'm remembering correctly, you have
Yeah.
8
It
unique
does vary depending on the version you're playing because I do want to clarify this real quick.
Oh yeah,
Sorry to all the Jade Wisp fans out there, but Jade Wisp was not in the Wii version. The
that
version
was
we
a
played, we
ultimate
will not
exclusive.
be mentioning it.
Yeah, sorry.
That
Um,
along with the 2 exclusive Wisp for the DS version.
yeah, we can talk about the TS version later, but yeah, there are 8 main wisps in the Wii version. You have Boost, which they're the white wisp that you find everywhere. Then you've got Laser, which when you use it, you become like very the cyan, and like you can freeze time and then point in a certain direction, and then whenever you attack, it'll go in that direction for a certain amount of time. There are a lot of puzzles and like cool things they like the levels will use with it. You've
Yeah, a
got
lot of like switches you'll have to hit at the same time, so you have to use the laser power up to like be fast enough to hit all of them at once
yeah,
instantaneously. And also like it angles you at a certain angle as well. So like
yeah.
I think it's like calculating in the same way Captain America would calculate throwing his shield to bounce off a wall to hit something, you're doing the same thing
I
as
I
well to
honestly
hit an enemy.
I honestly thought you were about to say Captain Underpants for a second.
Captain Underpants.
Sorry, after the Dogman trailer, I'm just Captain Underpants pilled now.
I mean, I guess I enjoyed those books when I was in elementary school, but okay.
La la la.
Yeah, but moving on from that, there's a couple others as well. So
You've
you have
got
the rocket as well. Pretty simple, self-explanatory. It's a rocket, shoots you upwards, gives you a lot of vertical
Rocket.
momentum. You have the drill, which is personally my favorite because in Sweet Mountain you use it a lot to drill through the ground, find some extra enemies, rings, or even some other like boost wisp, and then it's just so cool. It gets you out of like tough situations, then also gets you quickly through other parts of the levels. Oh my god, so cool. But then you have like Hover, Spikes, Cube, and Frenzy. Now some of
My
these are objectively better than others. I think we can
100%.
agree on this, right, Connor?
Yeah, like my favorite is, and I know this is gonna come up like very, very like edgelordy. my favorite is honestly probably Frenzy. Like kid me just loved Frenzy so much because I could just hold forward and everything would die, and I was like, "This is awesome."
Okay, Connor, I do have to bring this up. So, you are a big Shadow the Hedgehog simp,
I am,
correct?
yes. Shadow the
And you
Hedgehog.
love the Sonic power up the most. That turns you into an edgy version of Sonic.
Yeah, that there's totally no correlation there. It's not like Shadow the Hedgehog's like my fifth favorite video game character of all time.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest, the Frenzy one, I feel like it kind of just is Shadow the Hedgehog in the game.
It's Shadow
because
the Hedgehog if he was really hungry.
Yeah, because like you have Sonic, you turn him into a dark, edgier version of himself that like attacks everything around him. I kind of feel like that's just Shadow the Hedgehog, just minus the gun and
Yeah,
minus some of the human parts of like having a human connection with that little girl. That
yeah, just
yeah,
take Shadow's head, dye it purple, and then like just make him really hungry, and you've got the Frenzy Wisp.
yeah, basically.
Yeah. Um, but honestly, that actually kind of reminded me because it's actually really funny because in the DS version of the, which I'm gonna be honest for anyone who hasn't played the 3DS version, I haven't played it either, but from
Or
stuff,
you mean just the DS version?
yeah, the Colors DS version, um, it is an entirely different game than the Wii version of Colors, and it
Yeah.
is like in Colors Wii version, there are three characters, three main Sonic characters. You've got Sonic, Tails, and Eggman. In the Nintendo DS version,
Hey, wait. You are forgetting the most important characters of Square and Circle Robot.
Orbot and Cubot, you're right.
Yeah,
I can't believe I forgot about
very
Orbot.
very deep
But
characters.
yeah,
Well, I
but
will mention them, seeing how long some of their sections are in the story that you have to listen to them ramble. So
yeah, but in the DS version, you have like I want to say upwards of like 20 Sonic characters in there. You've got Amy, Blaze, Silver for some fucking reason. You've got the Chaotix team with Charmy, Espio, and Vector. You've got Knuckles, and you've got Omega and Rouge, and also Shadow, which is really funny because Shadow. Do you want to guess where Shadow is in the Game Brewer?
man, let me guess, Asteroid Coaster.
Yes, he is found with Omega and Asteroid Coaster.
Man, the edgy fucker is found in the edgiest places in the game. Who
Yes,
would have
exactly.
guessed?
Crazy idea that the edgy hedgehog is found in the edgy world.
Yeah, the only thing to make it edgier is if he could hold a gun, like in his original GameCube game.
And then you start hearing "I am all of me" just play in the background.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but
The DS version was interesting. I played it some as a kid. I never fully beat it because like it was very inspired from Colors, but it kind of felt like a whole different fan fiction, like more
yeah,
Sonic fan fiction.
yeah, it's also just like I mean, it's still on the 3DS, so obviously it's gonna be very different because of limitations. But it's also just not 3D anymore. I'm pretty sure it's just fully 2D, or like 2.5D, but it
Two,
is
the
2D.
the DS was kind of weird. It would have a lot of 2D games that sometimes included 3D in it. Big names like Pokemon a
Yeah,
lot, just for what they could graphically pull off at the time. But it was primarily like 2D sprites with some 3D assets here and there.
yeah, and I I've wanted to play like Sonic has a lot of DS games. Like you got Sonic Battle. I'm pretty sure Sonic Rush is on there, and like
You have
this,
all the Sonic Advance series, which are actually considered to be really good Sonic games.
yeah. And so I'm definitely looking forward to being able to play those one day because I do have a 3DS. So I definitely can play them whenever I acquire them.
Yeah, yeah,
But
same here. I need to go dig around for my copy of Colors on the DS someday. I have my copy on the Wii, but not my DS version.
yeah. Um, but before we wrap up.
Well, I think you want to get into the Wisp just a little more, since we kind of went on a little shadow rant once Frenzy was mentioned.
Yeah, I guess yeah, just real quickly.
This is kind of funny that like we're considering the Frenzy one the edgiest when there is one literally called Spikes that
well,
makes you.
I think the reason we don't consider it edgy is because it's just bright pink, which
Yeah, it does have that going against it.
yeah, and it's like, I think it's definitely a good one, but I just think like, I think the reason we don't consider it edgy is because it's just bright pink, which yeah, and it's like, I think it's definitely a good one, but I just think like, I think the reason we don't consider it edgy is because it's just bright pink, which yeah, and it's like, I think it's definitely a good one, but I just think like, I think the reason we don't consider it edgy is because it's just bright pink, which yeah, and it's like, the look of the frenzy wisp and the like powers it gives you of just pure destruction, that I think that is definitely like why we consider it the edgiest.
The edgiest, yeah. Yeah, though all the Wisp power ups are pretty fun. Though there are just I think a couple that are just like kind of for me. Like Cube is just a Minecraft reference. You turn into a cube. Some
It
blue coins turned into boxes.
Yeah, it
That,
acts like
that's it.
it acts like the like those switches in Mario
The P
Wonder.
switch.
Yeah, the P switch. I was thinking more of those like red and blue switches in that one level. But yeah,
Yeah, color swap switches.
yeah, the P switch is also just a good
Yeah, it turns coins into blocks.
yeah. Um and then the hover one, it's, I'll be honest, it's kind of like it, despite the fact that it is in Starlight Carnival, my favorite world, it is kind of boring. You sort of just
Slowly float.
yeah, you slowly float up, kind of breaks the pace a bit.
Yeah, well, it gave you more control than Rocket. At the same time, though, like Rocket was it was such a short burst, and like you got into the level so quick that I didn't mind that it wasn't really controlled because it was just fun. Like I didn't need more control of slowly going through a level. I just quickly went up through it because like that's why I'm playing a Sonic game for. I do kind of want to play, fast. Speed is the name of the game.
Gotta go fast.
Oh yeah, but it kind of just puts you into slow sections with some spikes surrounding you. It
Yeah.
kind of reminds me of like Sonic 1, because like I recently did play that, and like, well, I did enjoy the game. I do see why people like Sonic 2 and 3 more when it comes to retro Sonic. Just because with Sonic 1, there were so many sections where I'm like, I'm supposed to be going fast. Why am I in a stupid dungeon just slowly hopping over these obstacles?
Yeah, yeah. I haven't played Sonic One because it is not on the Sega Genesis thing for Nintendo Switch, sadly.
Oh yeah, but you played Sonic 2 because it is on on Switch
It's
Online
on there
for some
for
reason.
some reason.
Yeah, no, it is weird. At the same time, though, I don't really blame them considering the fact that Sonic 1 by itself has been re-released on the Switch probably like 40 different times and
Yeah.
like 30 different Sega collections.
Yeah. So, but that is neither here nor there. But before we wrap up, there is one thing I would sort of like to go into, and it is probably the one genuine negative I have with this game, and that is the writing. Now,
Yeah, the writing is a bit iffy.
this is not story writing, because the game story is, as we said, pretty simple, kind of standard. I am talking about the dialogue and quote unquote jokes that the game has. Don't get me wrong, it has some iconic things like no copyright law in the universe is gonna stop me, which iconic, beautiful, perfect, my sweet summer child. But then it also has in the first world a like 40-second sequence of Sonic explaining the most blatantly obvious joke on the planet, and them trying to act like it's funny.
Yeah, I'd say the best way I can explain it is like some of these jokes felt like they were written up in a very short time period, but not they didn't have enough people say it out loud to think, is this actually good? I just kind of had the voice actors roll with it, because I feel like I could make a joke as kind of just not good as some of the Sonic Color ones. Like here, Eggman says something, I'm gonna take you out to the trash can. And it's honest like, well, hey, if you're getting takeout, get me a chili dog. And then he says that for like 15 minutes straight.
And then he'll call him Baldy McNosehair and think it's funny.
Yeah, and then talk about chili dogs more. It's like, man, if I had to take a guess, that long nose of yours looks like a chili dog.
And this is something I'm pretty sure you've described it before as this, but the Marvel effect, where there are a bunch of scenes in this game where like it's trying to have a serious tone, but then you've got Sonic over here going like, let's act like Eggman's hairline never recede, when like the entire planet is blowing up, and it's like, am I supposed to be taking this seriously? And
it's
as a kid,
it's a weird mix.
Sonic's so funny, it's like I'm laughing along because I'm a stupid kid, but looking back on it, their writing is really bad. It definitely could be
Yeah,
worse. Don't get me
yeah. I'd say if you're interested in playing a good Sonic game, like don't let that be a turnoff for you because
no,
me,
definitely
me
not.
and Connor do agree. It still is a great game, like a great platformer in general, and a great Sonic game. And especially, it was a very good step in the right direction for the series,
Oh,
considering
right
looking at
after
the
this
past
second generation.
releases, you got 06,
Yeah, and
you
I could
got
to a
Sonic the Werehog.
I could have an entire like like if we ever did Sonic as a series, I would definitely do a sort of like entire segment where we would go over like the transition from the like the era between Sonic Adventure 2 and to Sonic Colors and how that acted like a it was sort of a paradigm shift is the best way I could put it, where between Adventure 2 and Sonic Colors there were all these big games that like they tried to tell so many dramatic stories, but because they rushed them all to hell, the stories were ass. And so then Sega was like, all right, let's stop trying to tell serious stories and have super comedic, super like non-serious stories that would joke at every single opportunity. And you can really see the ripples of that even to like now, like over like 20, not 20, over like 10 years later with like Frontiers sort of has stuff like this. Not to the extent, of course, Frontiers is great. Brewery, you should play Frontiers because I know you have it.
I will play it soon.
Yeah, and then we can do a video on it, and then it'll be great. But yeah, I would love to delve further into the topic of like Sonic writing and how it's evolved over time, especially from
Yeah.
games.
Well, I think in general,
But
Sonic 2 compared to like a lot of other
you mean Sonic?
mascots that like were there from that long ago and are still here. He's had just such more of a varied history. Like when you look at Mario's history,
Very consistent.
yeah,
Yeah.
very consistent. You look at Sonic's history, and it's like a damn zigzag. It's like he used the fucking laser power up and hit 20 different walls.
Yeah, no, and if we had time for it, I would 100% go further into that, but we sadly don't. And so, um, Brewer, are there any closing thoughts you'd like to have for this episode?
I think what I'm gonna say is with Sonic Colors, it is a game I would highly recommend. It is probably one of the better Sonic games out there, especially for the ones I've played. It's a great platformer. It does have a couple slow moments, but it is balanced out by like the really fun power-ups, a lot of the aesthetically pleasing levels, and then just the banger soundtrack it has as well that fits the worlds really good. Overall, it's just a great time all around. It's not perfect. It has some kinks that would have been nice if they had fixed that in the Ultimate Edition, but instead we got a shitty Switch port. But
Yeah,
hey, it's still a great game all around.
yeah,
Just maybe don't play that Switch port. I think it's gotten updated long after release now, but
yeah,
yeah, it's still iffy. Maybe don't support them for that unless you're buying a pre-owned copy.
yeah. And I'll try to keep this short, but I 100% agree with everything you just said, Brewer. I think this is one of the better Sonic games. You know, Sonic and Shadow Generations is about to come out, and I think that's probably going to dethrone it as my favorite Sonic game. Um, but I just think it was a really great game, and especially for its time, after what had, you know, what it had come after, like
Sonic and the Secret Ring.
Sonic 06.
Yay.
Very rough patches
Sonic
there.
Unleashed.
Uh, I'd say Sonic Unleashed is actually like not bad. It's more mid, but that's
Yeah, no, it's not, Sonic Unleashed is not nearly as bad as like 06. It's still
Yeah.
just kind of iffy because like you got some really good levels in there, and then you have like the Werehog sections, which like aren't terrible, but like this is not what I want in a Sonic game.
Yeah, and I again, if we ever do Sonic as a series as a whole, would love to talk about that. But um, yeah, it's a great game. As a person who wants to be a writer, I'm going to have a lot more issues with the writing. But as we both said, the writing, even if it's kind of bad, don't let that turn you off from playing a very
Yeah,
good
it
game.
is not the main focus of the
Yeah,
game by
it's
any
definitely not
means.
the main. If it was something like Sonic 06 or like Shadow the Hedgehog, where they are put very heavy emphasis on those stories, then yes, that'd be more valid. But this is not a story focused Sonic game. But
I think with that, you know
yeah,
what we should focus on lastly?
we should focus on telling our audience to like and subscribe.
Oh, yeah. All right, audience, you just heard us. If you enjoyed this episode of Fetch Quest, maybe you should smash that like button like Connor wants to smash Shadow the Hedgehog.
And maybe you should hit that
Subscribe button.
yeah, hit that subscribe button. I couldn't remember if you said like or subscribe, but yeah, hit that subscribe button like you're the cube wisp power up. Just slam down onto it.
Yeah, and if you've played Sonic Colors, maybe comment what your favorite power up was.
Or what your favorite world is, because there, if you like Sweet Mountain the most, good for you. It's a great world.
Your opinion is valid. I think
Unless
with that though, Connor.
Unless you think Aquarium Park is the best, in which case, fuck you!
Yeah. Yeah. My only closing statement here is go listen to the soundtrack, especially Reach for the Stars, its peak. But with that, I think we've been Fetch Quest.
Goodbye, everyone, and we will see you next time.
Goodbye.